quick, sort of quick, I don't know. I say quick, but who knows how long it's going to take. Bracket breakdown. Brackets are out. Go to Arena, FloWrestling Arena if you want to check those out for Cliff Keen, Las Vegas. I'm going to start at 125 and kind of go through it. So at the top, I'm going to look at some of the earlier tough matches versus ranked guys. A couple ranked guys could hit, and some of the early tough matches basically. So Caleb Smith sits at the 1. A match to keep out for round 1, Eddie Ventresca versus Bridger Ricks. Ricks from Utah Valley. Little under the radar. He wrestles everyone very, very tough. If you're looking for an early round 1 upset potential, Ricks versus Ventresca, that's a really good early one. A couple matches I'm looking forward to. We could have that Eddie Ventresca, Tanner Jordan quarterfinal. That's a good one. Vincent Robinson, he sits at the 7. He's in a good spot. I think he and Matt Ramos are going to hit in the quarterfinals, and I'll predict right now, I think that's going to be one of the top quarterfinals to watch. I think Vince Robinson has all the tools to win this bracket, but Matt Ramos may be the best guy here. That's pretty much, you know, for 125, you could see Spratley versus Macron in a quarter. That's an interesting one. But other than that, Adrian Meza, Maximo Renneria, as far as a round 2 match, that's pretty tough. But really, 125, Bridger Ricks, Eddie Ventresca, that's the round 1 upset potential. And make sure when you're arena, I set all my alerts. I got about, I don't know, 30, 40 alerts set. And that way, you'll get notified on your phone who's up when. I see Georgie says Ridge wins 149. Yeah, we're going to get to 149. And yes, Ridge definitely could. 133 pounds, another early matchup to keep your eye on. Jet Strickenberger, West Virginia versus Case Malger of Utah Valley. That's a tough matchup early on. Micah Rose versus Jacob Van D, round 1 for Nebraska. That's a tough one. So keep your eye out for that one. Looking elsewhere, Tyler Knox, the 3 from Stanford, someone you should probably be watching. He had a good Vegas last year. He beat Drake Ayala at the duel. You're going to want to keep an eye on him. Ferretti versus Unger, that's a tough early round match. And then Unger versus Corey Land in that 11-6 matchup. Corey Land was a huge recruit for UNI. He was out last year with injury. Now he's back. And seeing him, he's the 11th seed taking on the 6th seed Brett Unger from Cornell. That's a really good early round match there as well. And then Whitcraft versus Klebo in the round of 16. That's a 10 versus 7. 2 really tough guys with a lot of wins, a lot of experience. So yeah, that's 133. 141. Moving on. Jacob Frost versus Eli Griffin. Round 1. Jacob Frost won the spot, at least for right now, for Iowa State. You're going to want to keep an eye on that one. Hayden Drury is the 9 seed. He drew Josh Saunders, who was unseeded. Saunders was a big recruit, really good freestyler. He's kind of had a hard time getting into the lineup at Cornell. Now he's in the lineup. That's a tough matchup. Winner of that Drury-Saunders match will likely get Sam Latona in round 2. That's a pretty tough battle there. Now here's one. This is the match for me in round 2 that you got to keep your eye on. Sergio Limley will likely have, if he beats Mackenzie Bell, who's tough, that's a tough round 1 match for Sergio Limley. If he wins that one, he'll get Aiden Valencia from Stanford. I don't know who's the favorite there. Valencia's unseeded, Limley's the 4. I think Aiden Valencia can absolutely win that match. So that's one to keep your eye on. Cale Happel versus Julian Tagg, round 1. Julian was a huge prospect coming out of high school. He's had he was at UNC, now he's at South Dakota State. And taking on Happel, who's going to be a big favorite there, but still a notable match to keep your eye on. Nash Singleton has 10 seed Owen of Columbia in round 1. Singleton's tough. Winner there gets Jordan Titus from West Virginia. And now here's one. 41 has 2 massive round 2 matches. Massive. Emilio Isiguera versus Brock Hardy. Hardy and Isiguera, you may say, why does that match sound familiar? Well, Isiguera beat Hardy his true freshman year, the last match before conferences. And he was so impressive in that match that they pulled his red shirt and they entered him at Pac-12, and Isiguera didn't qualify. But he's really good, and he'll have another opportunity against Brock Hardy. If you're Brock Hardy, who's the 2 seed here, that's a tough second round match for a guy who many people think can win this bracket or at least make the finals. So 41, a lot of early heat there. 149, and I'm kind of focused on the early stuff, right? Because, we'll see how it plays out. But 149, you've got Caleb Henson's the 1 seed, Ridge Lovett's the 2. Those two look to be on a collision course. But as far as early round matches of note, the 5-12 between Biskins and Colin Realbuto, I think that's a coin flip match. I think Biskins can win that match against Colin Realbuto. I think that's going to be a tough one. Looking elsewhere, Jesse Vasquez versus Cartella round 2, notable. Sammy Alvarez, Gabe Willishell. But really, I don't see, unless Echemendia can pull an upset against Ridge Lovett, which I don't anticipate, even though I think highly of Echemendia, I don't think we'll see anything other than Lovett versus Henson in the final. Ty Waters of West Virginia is not wrestling here. So, yeah, that's my read there. Wrestling starts, just so you know, 9 a.m. Pacific time. So wherever you are, do the math. But 9 a.m., so that's here pretty soon. So you see, got wrestlers warming up here behind me. We'll go to 157, where this is, I think, the most wide open weight, truth be told. You got the 1 seed Antrell Taylor, 2 seed Peyton Keller, 3rd seeded Ryder Downey of UNI, and 4th seed Patty Gallagher. So I'll get into some of the early round matches that I think are going to be particularly exciting. So Rafael Hippolito, if you've been listening, I've been high on this guy for a while. We've been hyping him up for Virginia Tech. He's from Manaus, Brazil. And he's the 12th seed. He could have Pinheiro Johnson from Iowa State in the 2nd round. That's going to be a fascinating match. We'll learn a lot about Hippolito and Pinheiro in that match, should it happen. The other very newsworthy thing, Caleb Fish for Oklahoma State is entered here. Now Caleb was redshirting, and now Tate Travis apparently is going to be out with injury, so we're going to see Caleb Fish wrestle the rest of the way for Oklahoma State. Very exciting wrestler for the Cowboys. Upper body, he's a pinner, he can get the big moves, so keep an eye on him out of the 11. He'll have Chumbley round 2 from Northwestern. Chumbley beat Meyer Shapiro last year. Dude's really tough. Peyton Keller, the 2 seed, will have Gregor Chalakian from Stanford in the 2nd round. Chalakian, really tough recruit, good guy out of Stanford, upper body as well. Keller's the favorite there, and Chalakian's just a true freshman, but definitely want to keep an eye out on that one. Ryder Downey, I think he'll cruise. I'm interested if Caleb Fish can make it to the quarters against Ryder Downey. I think that would be a really, really exciting match. Elsewhere, Seabrick Saldate round of 16. But I think Antrell Taylor has a good path to the quarters where I think he'll have Chase Saldate. And that's a tough match. That's a tough match for Antrell Taylor. Expect that one to be in the margins for sure. I think I could see Taylor, Saldate, I could see Pinheiro, even Patty Gallagher making the finals out of that top side. I think it's pretty wide open. But Antrell Taylor can close the door there as well. 65. This is all about Sammy Sasso for me. I mean, Peyton Hall is the favorite here. He's the 1 seed. But you get to see Sammy Sasso wrestling at CKLV for the first time since he was shot and he missed a year and a half off the mat. Now he's back. And his path, what is Sammy Sasso's path? Well, he'll have Fields of NC State. That's not an easy round 1 match. Fields is tough. And then Mosher is probably like a step down. You know, he's more likely to beat Mosher than Fields. And then in that quarterfinal, he'll have either Max Mayfield or Bubba Wilson. 2 really tough guys, but I think winnable for Sammy. And then he could have Terrell Barraclaw or Cam Amin. He'll get the winner there of that rematch. And so Cam Amin lost in a crazy tiebreaker match. I think that's winnable for Cam, obviously, right? I don't think there's any dispute. But Barraclaw, probably a slight favorite there to make it out of the bottom half, where it could be Peyton Hall, it could be Hunter Garvin, could it be Brock Mantanone or MJ Gaitan. These are all guys to keep your eye on at a weight where I think you could see a lot of chaos at this weight class. I think you've got 5 or 6 guys with high potential, and there's not a lot of separation there. And there's some interesting styles. You got crazy scramblers like Peyton Hall, Sammy Sasso, Terrell Barraclaw. You got elite top guy like Terrell Barraclaw. You got Cam Amin, who is solid, tough to get through, very positional. You've got Hunter Garvin, upper body. There's just a lot going on here at this weight class, and trying to figure out who's going to win. Good luck. You take Peyton Hall because I think his path is the most navigable. Because you look down below, you got Barraclaw, Amin, and Sammy Sasso all down there. I think it's a clearer path for Peyton to make that final. Give me your feedback and your predictions here below. I'm trying to keep an eye on the comments as best I can. Moving up to 174 now. Kate DeVos, your top seed, but to me, the big favorite here is Dean Hamady, who has been a wrecking ball to start this season. Scoring bonus points in every single match, looking dominant, his picks, his top wrestling cradles, his crab half stuff, he's really, really good. And what I'm excited about is a potential Lenny Pinto, Dean Hamady semifinal. But before we get there, what's in their way? Well, Hamady could see Adam Kemp or Brevin Casella, an early round matchup where you could see an upset, Harmon versus Casella. I think that's winnable. Conley versus Singleton, Conley unseeded versus Matt Singleton. That's an early test for Singleton, who has a lot of hype for NC State, but can he put it all together there? Garrett Thompson versus Sima in round 2. That's going to be a crazy one. Both these guys, very fun to watch. Good top wrestlers. Winner there will get DeVos, where they'll be decided underdogs. Keep an eye on 4-seeded Lorenzo Norman from Stanford. He upset Shane Griffith here last year and then redshirted. Could he be a surprise finalist at his top side? He looked really good against Nelson Brands. Can he get it done? But yeah, 174, really tough weight, but I think the dust is gonna settle tomorrow and we're gonna say this is the Dean Hamady show. Moving up to 184, this is a loaded weight class where you have an NCAA finals both in the field. You've got Parker Keckheisen, the 1 seed, Dustin Plott, the 2. Those two wrestled in the NCAA finals last year, where Parker Keckheisen won. Who is in his way? Well, 4 seed TJ Stewart. He was an All-American as a freshman last year. Could he play spoiler here? I mean, he'll be a big underdog. And if TJ makes it to the semis, I think that'd be a good showing, as TJ has kind of struggled to start this season. Down below, you've got Bennett Berge, and I think he's got a good path now. A potential match to keep an eye on, Jaden Bullock from Michigan. A lot of people don't know much about him. He's from Virginia, which is notable. That's a good thing. Wrestles at Michigan, and very tough guy to score on. You're not going to blow this guy out. And I think when you look at this, the bracket here, could he present some problems at this tournament? Could he slow things down? I think there's potential there with Bullock. He's pretty tough. But Plott, I think he probably makes it to the final. Bullock maybe has an outside shot at upsetting Berge. I wouldn't anticipate that. I think we're looking at a Berge versus Plott semi. Berge's been there in that match. You go back to their match in Stillwater, where Berge really gave him a tough battle. I think there's potential there for a slight upset, but at the end of the day, I think it is Plott's to lose. And of course, Parker Keckheisen, a daunting favorite here. He's as bad as they come in NCAA wrestling. He's up there, the elite of the elite. And as we go to 197, no AJ Ferrari, no fast twitch in the mix. But we got another fast twitch guy, Jacob Cardenas. He's maybe not Mr. Fast Twitch, but he's in the fast twitch family, right? He's quick, powerful double leg. Christian Carroll versus Wyatt Volker in that round of 16. Want to learn a lot about Christian Carroll? I think we'll find out a lot there against a very tough Wyatt Volker. Luke Serber has a lot of hype and a lot of excitement. He had the win over Trey Munoz, and you want to see what he's going to do in this bracket. And in round 2, he'll have tough true freshman Camden McDaniel. That's a match you're going to want to see. I think Luke Serber, Camden McDaniel, that's a great test for Serber and a great proving ground potentially for Camden McDaniel to see where he's at in his true freshman year. The 4 seed Andy Smith versus Luke Serber, that could be a potential quarterfinalist, a likely quarterfinal, I would say, for Smith versus Serber. 2 really good scramblers for 197 pounders, but Serber maybe has the edge. I don't know. I mean, Andy Smith, you look at his wins. This is a guy with a win over Trumbull. He's beaten Tanner Sloan. He's beaten Zach Glazier, among others. It's a good guy to watch. Zach Glazier is your 3 seed here. He'll likely have Luke Geog from Ohio State there. Trey Munoz is the 2, and I think Novak of Wyoming is a good challenge for him, but I think he'll win there. So it looks like Munoz will get to semi. He'll probably have Glazier or Geog. I would guess Glazier, but Ohio State very excited about Geog. There's murmurs he was really banged up a year ago, so we'll see. You'll learn a lot about these guys. I mean, there's so much rigor. There's so many challenges at this tournament. So many ranked guys, 150 plus ranked wrestlers here. Insane. So yeah, 197. I think Serber's a guy who could upset and go on a run here, but Cardenas is going to be the favorite here. This is a guy with multiple All-American finishes. He was 4th last year. He's the highest ranked guy. He's going to be tough to beat. And then you go to heavyweight, where Wyatt Hendrickson, the great American hero, as we call him, he's a big favorite, and he's going to score a lot of bonus point along the way. Who stands in his way? Well, you go to that semi where it could be Nick Feldman. And Nick Feldman's really, really good. And I just think he matches up terribly against Wyatt, who is so good from the top position. That's an area of growth for Nick Feldman. So with all that being said, I think we're going to see Wyatt make the finals. Now, who's down below? You got Colton Schultz and Isaac Trumbull. Well, why is that interesting? Those two wrestled earlier this year, and it was Trumbull who fell to Schultz. He got pinned, actually. So how's he going to do with a potential rematch opportunity? I feel like there's a chance Trumbull can make that more competitive than it was the first time. But standing in their way, Jim Mullen from Virginia Tech, Schultz will have to face him. And, Mullen's a big, strong guy. Can he hold position? Yeah, Cliff King, they're just getting warmed up right now. It's getting ready to start in like 15 minutes or so. So head to FloWrestling if you want to watch. But Trumbull, Schultz looks like the semi, but I think this is going to be the Wyatt Hendrickson show. So that's it. 2 days of great wrestling. Ironman's already started if you want to watch that on FloWrestling. And of course, CKLV started here in 15 minutes. I got to go make my predictions before the tournament gets started. Thank you guys so much for watching. Follow us at FloWrestling. Stay tuned. We'll keep you up to speed, all the upsets, all the happenings here. But thanks for watching. See you next time.